Good morning, fourth graders. Welcome back from spring break. This week, we're going to be working on some lessons that are part of the standards numbers base 10. These are going to be lessons involving rounding, place value, and multiplication of large numbers. So let's get started. Student A and student B solve the problem below in the space provided. Circle the person's work that you think is correct and be ready to explain why. Let's look at their problem. What is 429,713 rounded to the nearest thousand? So that was their task. Look at the work of student A and look at the work of student B. Which one do you agree with? Do you have it? Great. I agree with student A, and maybe most of you did too. Student B was not quite on the right track. I noticed that if we disagreed with student B, let's look at why they were incorrect. They were incorrect because they did not correctly round. They knew that they needed to round up, and they knew that 10 came after 9 in the thousands place. But they forgot that if you have 10 thousands, you have to go into the 10 thousands place. So they did not show this correctly. You can also see that this value, 421, is actually less than the number that we were rounding to. So we need to think and ask to ourselves, do we need to round up or down, and why? We need to round up because we have a 7 in the hundreds place, which is more than our midpoint of 500. What happens when we round up and there's a 9 in the place where we're rounding? In this case, there's a 9 in the thousands place. Do you remember? When we round the 9 to a 10, we move to the next place value, in this case, the 10 thousands place. So student A was on the right track, and student B forgot the rules for place values and the fact that we can't have more than 9 in a single place value. So let's think about what can we do to make sure we don't make the same mistake that student B did in our work today and in our problems in the future. We can make sure that our number line helps us see the rounded value above and below our given value. Above and below our given value. We can also check to make sure our answer makes sense. If we are rounding up, we should be getting a larger number than our original number. In this case, if you look at student B, they rounded up. However, their rounded number was actually lower than their original number. That's what makes student A more correct in this case. You're going to be doing some practice problems that have to do with rounding up and rounding down. If you don't have a copy of this worksheet, that's okay. You can do your practice problems on a piece of lined paper. Make sure you pay attention to which direction you're rounding to. In this case, you're rounding this one and this one to the nearest 100 for problem 1. For problem 2 in your practice set, you are rounding the numbers below to the nearest 1,000. Make sure you pay attention to that. Again, these are things you can do on lined paper. For problems in set 3, you are rounding to the nearest 10 thousands place. Pay attention to your place value. It's very important when rounding and also when adding, subtracting, and multiplying. Number 4, you have an error analysis problem. Make sure that you pay attention to that. If you need help with it, ask your teachers during office hours. And finally, this is your exit ticket. Mine looks a little bit different. Yours will be in a Google Doc, and you'll be able to type right into your document and submit it to your teacher so that you can get credit for this error analysis lesson. Remember, your exit ticket is like your quiz of the lesson. The practice problems are for you to practice, get help, and get better. Welcome back from spring break. Have fun doing your math.